get a...
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo! Hump day!
Grab. All right, welcome to News from the Pew, where the news breaks and the internet happens, and we talk about it. If you can't hear me, that's because my mic's not very close, because it's now thundering and lightning where I live, and my little dog, as you can see right here, she is not very happy, so she has jumped on my lap, so I have to keep her here for a little while. Anyway, Steve, how you doing, bud?
I'm well. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good. I'm very hopeful with the prospects of Pope Julius or Pope Orange Julius coming to our rescue in our hour of need. But we'll get to that.
Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference. I must say we have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York who's very good. So we'll see what happens.
That's the only one he knows. That's why he said that. That's the only one he knows. But we were having, what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild the altar rails, and we're going to make the modernists pay for it. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. But of course, with Trump, because he has a type, and about 3 years into his pontificate, he's going to be like, you know what? I think we need to have some blondes as some deacons, because he has a type, and they all got to be blondes. Blonde, beautiful women. Could you imagine getting the gifts from a beautiful blonde? Just like it says in the Bible. Like, Trump, none of that's in the Bible. Don't worry. Pam Bondi, she's going to be the first deaconess. It's going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome. Don't worry about it.
Pam, go clean up the floors.
Yeah. Right. I mean, look at the spiritual advisor he has in the White House, that crazy blonde lady. That's who he would essentially assign as, like,
at least he was smart enough not to mention her, and at least not that anybody wants His Excellency Timothy Cardinal Dolan to be Pope. I mean, he's still working on the Ramadan videos right now, but at least he knows that you have to.
You have to be Catholic.
Kind of, yeah. At least he knows that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw that, when he said that, I was thinking, oh boy, everyone's going to go, everyone's going to lose their minds over that one, which whoever told you that Pope Julius II thing was fantastic. The Orange Julius one, we made I put it
out in the chat right here. Luke G, that's who you have to thank for Pope Orange Julius.
That was great. Well done.
Oh, it was amazing.
That's you made our meme, our thumbnail. I went into an AI going, how can I find this? I have no clue how people do these AI ones. I was like, Donald Trump as Pope Donald Trump holding an Orange Julius and the Vatican.
Well, I use Gronk. That's all I use, and I just type in that, and that's how
you can do it there.
Yeah, Gronk. If you pay, there's you can do stuff like that. It's not great, but it's pretty much the same stuff as you put out, which is fine. It got the point across. It was fantastic.
Yeah. And because of Pope Donald Trump I forgot to put Rick's face somewhere in the thumbnail. So
it's okay. It's okay. For such a monumentous occasion, I'm okay with not being included on the thumbnail this time, Stephen. It'll, don't make it a habit of it. But
by the way, is anybody out there in TV land know if Vegas has the odds on the papal conclaves? Is everyone their brothers doing a show or doing the draft thing, which someone took my idea, did a great job with it.
Oh, the F1? Yeah.
That one. I'm still working on the Mel Kiper. I found an AI. I just need to put the script together, find some time to do it. I was out in the garden the last 2 days for 4 hours. Yeah, it's like, okay, I'll get to the Kiper one here probably tomorrow. But everyone, their brothers doing it. There was an AI lineup. So I took when I was taking a shower after working out and going to the working in the field for 2 hours, and when I coming in, so my wife goes, "You smell that in the bathroom?" I go, I'm not gonna be able to smell anything besides me. And I was thinking, I wonder if Vegas has odds. So does anybody know if there's gambling involved? Who's going to be the next Pontiff?
Yeah, here you go. From Sports Book Review. Parolin looks like he's got the best odds. Zupi has some odds in there. Sarah actually has some. He's in the top 4, which is impressive. Pizza Ball right
We
after.
have tickers for that. Is there anybody going to get some action?
You can't bet on the Pope, man. You're going to get excommunicated. Stop it. Do not list. Steve is joking. We cannot bet on the next Pope. Please don't do that.
Use entertainment
Please
purposes
don't
only.
do that. I'm already disliked by half of Catholic Twitter anyway. Don't do this to make it even.
I'm just saying, if
I'm
everyone's
going to get blamed for it.
if everybody's going to be
betting
saying
on the Pope,
he's my guy, let's put your money out. Let's put some stuff on the line here.
Let's if you're going to put money on it, put it towards a Catholic charity of your choice, not Catholic charities.
Well, if you win, the winnings go to the charity.
The winnings aren't go to anybody else. It goes to like the St. Benedict Center or something like that.
I'm just one of those things that everyone's going to tell you who's going to do it, and then just tell them, all right, put 100 on that.
Right.
See if they have the confidence to do it after that.
No. They only want it. No, they'll never do that. They're only doing whatever the $5 on Sarah. All right, we got to take her. Your odds are 700. Your odds are pretty good.
On them. It's $5. I mean, when someone asks me, "Hey, you know this guy?" Yeah, the dude owes me $5. $5 goes a long way. Well, it doesn't go a long way. It still hasn't gone a long way. You know, gas has not gone down. I saw today oil's down $20 a barrel, but at the pump it hasn't moved.
Gas has gone down a little bit.
Must be just your area.
Yeah, well, South Carolina, your gas can't go down because of the eternal road construction that you have. That I will never let you guys be forgiven for.
All right. Anybody else besides Mark? Or is Mark the only one with a backbone here? Anybody?
Brian says always bet on black. So I guess Brian is putting $5 on all the African Cardinals.
Are we doing roulette now? Is it going to be black and red?
Hey, that's I got 20-1 on Pizza Balla. I mean, come on, man. You know, interestingly enough, I talked to a priest earlier this week, a priest buddy of mine, and he said something very interesting because I was like, it doesn't matter what it. He goes, the Catholic online discourse actually does, essentially said it's not super important, but they do pay attention to it in the background. They're not like, oh, well, Taylor Marshall says Erdo, so we got to make sure that's the guy, but they're paying attention to what the chatter is essentially. So
I know they watched a certain priest that is serious, and I won't tell you what series is because it'll definitely give away who it is. And I know for a fact that Rome saw it and they weren't happy about one of the parts of it. And I'm going, that's cool. Rome's watching this.
we got a viewer in Rome. Hey, buddy.
Yes, papacy.
Yeah, right. Well, it's funny because the Catholic Traveler, who's actually been pretty good, he's based out of Rome. He's been talking about how he thinks the conclave is going to take like 3 days. He's like, it'll probably be done by May 9th.
It won't be it won't be a for 1 day and gone thing.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I thought it was going to be more contentious, but I guess I was just looking for drama.
Well, yeah, I saw Anthony. He posted something, and I said something about will it go 1 day? Will it go longer? Okay, it could. It might not. But if it does, what's the bother? I mean, it's part of my idea of the talk about it. The speculation is just. It's wasting time. I mean, we're having fun with it right now, just saying who's, put $5 here or $20 here. Who's got the parlay card? Who's got the top five?
LaBeouf the first.
Yeah, who's name or who's going to come up with name or what time, what day is going to be? Is going to be a second day, a third day? Something like that. Have a little fun with it. But you got the hardcore guys that are really like, this is going to be this. We need this. Y'all don't have a darn clue. It was like 2013. If this was 2013, ain't nobody, none of these talking heads would have picked Bergoglio to come out. Would never pick Francis. Would have never picked any of that.
That's what That's what the Catholic Traveler was, because he was in the front row and they're like, it's Bergoglio. And he went, who?
Yeah.
He actually had to look at the list of cardinals to find out who Bergoglio, because he wasn't in the supposed top 10 of guys that they were like, who is Bergoglio? And so I think the only one they got right was Benedict. Or I don't even think they got Benedict right. They never get it right because you don't know how the conclave's going to go, despite what the movie Conclave tries to tell you.
Right. Yeah. Anybody has an idea, then they're full of it. And it's,
again,
it goes back to why even, watch it when it happens. But beforehand, this, like the NFL draft list things about it, like Shador.
It's supposed to be top 20 pick, man.
Everyone says he's going to be top 3, top 5, goes in the 5th round. It's the same idea. Oh, it's going to be this guy. You don't have anybody says they have an idea who's going to be. They don't have a clue. If they do get it, maybe I'll eat crow next day with barbecue sauce. Ain't going to happen. But I guess people love drama and people are going to tune in to get
it's just the way of the algorithm. This is the one of the most popular things on the algorithm right now. Mm-hmm. It's guaranteed to get views. And my thing, which is why a lot of Catholic Twitter got mad at me, and that's fine. You guys can get mad at me. I don't care. I don't take offense to it, because you're kind of calling them out on. You guys are kind of just using speculation and gossip essentially to do this. We have every right to. You're right. You have every right to discuss this stuff and pass the time. But what you're doing, and I said this last week, I will not beat this horse to death. If your guy, quote unquote, doesn't get it, now you're off on the bad foot with the new Holy Father. Because
you're automatically.
I wanted this guy, and this guy does this and that. You're gonna read his back of his card, like, oh well, he's supporting. Come on, man.
Yeah, and then afterwards, when they say, all right, if Joe Smo comes walking out on the thing and no one has a clue, and then someone goes, oh, he's gonna do. You're not gonna know a clue what he's gonna do, unless he comes out saying, you see Satan on his shoulder. Maybe
he comes out
like, all right, I got an idea. This isn't going to go well. But just, again, enjoy the process right now and watch it when it happens. But I haven't watched a single video of anybody giving their 3 cents. The only one I saw was the Protestant guy that did the draft day special. I think and Angels is playing in the background. And check out him. He knows Latin. Oh, everyone in the Vatican knows Latin. And, that was a good little bit that they did. So yeah, again, I'm going to try to put a Kuiper one just to make fun of things, have some fun with it, and take some lightheartedness in a sense. But so anyway, get your bets in before the 7th. Did I lose Rick? Oh, Rick. Now, why do I bring this guy up? Rhetorical question if you're keeping up with this. He's in the White House. He's in the Whitey House, whatever you want to say. Remember this? We played the video a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was last week, 2 weeks ago. He was in Mar-a-Lago. They brought him in. They had a standing ovation for this guy. He's oh, it's not. Is it not showing? There it is. I got to remove this. I got to remove one thing and add that. Okay, he's in Mar-a-Lago, getting a standing ovation. Pretty much all backing up everything Trump wants to do in terms of Gaza. Okay, he's for humanitarian aid being rejected out of that. Just in case you don't know what that's going on.
Beginning of the war following the October 7th attack that Israel has been waging on Gaza, senior Israeli officials led by its then defense minister, Yoav Gallant, have explicitly threatened that they intended to cut off all humanitarian aid from entering Gaza, including food, water, and medicine. This doesn't mean they're refusing to provide humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza, even though as an occupying army, they are required to do so under international law. But no one expects that of Israel. It's Israel. They're not going to provide food and water and medicine to Palestinians in Gaza as they destroy their society. But they're doing something much more extreme, which is they're using their military, paid for by the United States and American workers and taxpayers, to block any aid from entering. There are humanitarian groups all over the world trying to put food into Gaza because generally the world considers it to be a singular atrocity to watch millions of people die of famine, a deliberately caused famine. You have countries trying to get in aid and medicine. watching children have to undergo incredibly horrific surgeries with no anesthesia because it's just not available in the Gaza Strip. You've seen all the horror stories. Those are deliberately induced by a blockade that the Israeli military has imposed on Gaza, where they simply won't even let flour into the Gaza Strip. And as a result, it's no longer accurate to say that the people of Gaza are on the brink of starvation or that mass famine is imminent. They're in the middle of it. There's essentially no more food left. Here from the BBC yesterday, quote, the UN agency runs out of food aid in Gaza after the Israeli blockade. Quote, today, the World Food Program, this is them talking, delivered its last remaining food stocks of hot meals kitchens, it warned. These kitchens are expected to fully run out of food in the coming days. Israel cut off aid on March the 2nd and resumed its offensive 2 weeks later after the collapse of a 2-month ceasefire, saying it was putting pressure on Hamas to release its remaining hostages. In other words, using mass starvation as a weapon of war. The UN says Israel is obliged under international law, which they don't care about, the United States doesn't care about, to ensure supplies for the 2.1 million Palestinians in Gaza. Israel said it is complying with international law. There is no aid shortage. At the end of March, all 25 bakeries supported by the World Food Program in Gaza were forced to close after wheat flour and cooking fuel ran out. Food parcels distributed to families containing 2 weeks' rations were also exhausted. Malnutrition is also rapidly worsening, according to the UN. Last week, one of its humanitarian partners screened 1,300 children in northern Gaza and identified more than 80 cases of acute malnutrition, a twofold increase from previous. World considers it to be singular.
All right, hit the wrong button. Mark, just the FYI, it's not about the hostages. They want them all dead. They don't give two you-know-whats about the hostages.
Remember, this is all part of the plan to remove the people of Gaza.
Yeah.
Remember, Trump has said multiple times he's going to spread them out, put them wherever, you know.
This is why
part
this
of a long-term plan.
Yeah, this is why Ben Gavir is even what I'm talking about. Ben's about zero Palestinians breathing.
World, everyone's persecuting poor Israel, even though the world's largest military and economy pay for their military, pay for their wars. All of Europe has stood up in defense of Israel. Somehow Israel is the poor little victim on the playground, constantly being bullied. You have all these UN organizations and Doctors Without Borders, people who do the most noble work of going around the world administering healthcare in the most dangerous place. All these institutions are immediately deemed anti-Semitic the first time they say anything negative about Israel. It's a little bit more difficult to do in the case of the World Food Program because its executive director is Cindy McCain. She is the widow of former Senator and presidential candidate John McCain and the mother of media personality Meghan McCain. And the McCain family has been as steadfast, as extreme, as loyal in their support for Israel as basically anybody in Washington. I mean, to try and depict the McCain family, Cindy McCain, as some kind of Israel hater. She was born into great wealth. She's using her platform to run the World Food Program, which does work to alleviate famine wherever famine is found. She didn't take it as a platform to criticize Israel. Much to the contrary, as I said, the McCain family worships Israel. But as the executive director, she is basically duty-bound to report the truth, which is that there's no more food left in Gaza. And they have no more food to distribute because all the stuff they were able to get into Gaza is now extinguished and exhausted, and they're barred by the Israeli military from delivering more. Here is the World Food Program itself on its X account yesterday. Quote, the WFP has run out of food in Gaza as border crossings remain closed. 2 million people inside Gaza rely entirely on food assistance to survive. The situation is at a breaking point. We need food to reach Gaza. We need access now. I've seen people trying to claim, oh, this is a war. This is what happens in war. No, it's just not true. Most wars do not entail the deliberate blockading and starvation of an entire population. a population in this case composed of 50% of children, trying
And
to starve
Christians.
them
Don't
to
forget
death,
about the
to face
Christians.
the risk of the imminent death from starvation as a means to get their hostages back. And of course, just like Israel was bombing everywhere in Gaza, claiming that they were concerned by their hostages and ended up predictably killing a lot of the hostages. Obviously, if you bomb indiscriminately in the places that you know the hostages are, you're going to end up killing many of them, as
Yeah, there you go. It's part of the Samson idea in a sense. Abraham Accord, all that.
happened.
Yep.
Similarly, if you starve an entire place,
You got our hostages. We'll bomb you and then say you killed our hostages. Well, we actually.
How dare you kill our hostages with our bombs?
Yeah. How dare you?
to death, then there's no food to provide to the hostages either. And this is not something that the Israelis are doing by accident or incidentally as a byproduct of war. Starving the 2 million people in Gaza to death is absolutely an explicit, open boast that Israeli officials, at least when they're speaking in Hebrew, and sometimes even when they're speaking in English, are very proud that they're doing on purpose. Here's a member of the Knesset, the Israeli Knesset, Moshe Sada, and he was on a network called Middle East Eye, and they asked him about the people who, including the children, who have no food in Gaza. And here's what he said.
אני כן יריב עזתים, כן וכן, זה החובה שלנו, החובה שלנו להעלות את העזתים. יש 10 מדינות בעולם שרוצות אותם, ומוכנות לקלוט. זה התפקיד שלנו, כל יום שעובר.
שאלה חבר הכנסת משה סעדה, כשאתה חבר כנסת בפרלמנט הישראלי אומר,
This is the interviewer. I want to starve Gazans. Understand the implications of that statement. And he says, wasn't I clear? It's simple. I want to starve Gazans completely, a full siege. Anyone who wants to leave Gaza can leave for a humanitarian zone that we will control, a zone that we control. The Israeli army will distribute food in the zone. And then the reporter says, how will you deal with the world's criticisms? And he says, really, we've been there before. The world's criticism, forget about that. We need to take care of Jews. It's time. And this is not anomalous. There's nobody rising up.
And remember, here's Ben. The only thing that enters Gaza are hundreds of tons of explosives from the Air Force. Not an ounce of humanitarian aid. That was back in 2023. Again, here's just the other week. And this would be when I said I agree with what's his face, Bernie Sanders. It's an anomaly. We got Blue Moons out. Hey, for the first time ever in my life, I agree with Code Pink.
You kill baby. You kill baby.
You are a racist. No, you are a war criminal. You are a war criminal. You are a war criminal who spews hatred. You are disgusting. And you just lie.
The lady yelling at him is also a Jew.
But don't forget, Glenn Greenwald is also of Jewish descent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not supposed to be practicing or anything, but he's Jewish as well. So it's good. Good. They got to call him out.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's your girl, Nancy Mace.
Hey, she's not from my state.
What do you have to say today about the starvation of children in Gaza?
You're a self-hating Jew, right? Is that what you are?
I was
you
asking.
Hate Jews?
I am a Jew, so I'm certainly
you hate
not.
Jews. You love Hamas.
Well, I asked you what you think about the starvation.
You guys are
of
domestic
children.
terrorists. You support domestic terrorism.
Right, that's also silly, but on a more serious note, do you have concern about the starvation in Gaza? I know you love Jews. We all love Jews. What about the children who are starving because Israel has not let in food for the last 2 months?
What about all the Jews that have been murdered by Hamas and civilians in Gaza? You guys are disgusting.
You agree with the collective punishment?
South Carolina's own. Steve voted for her every time.
The Jews all around the world. Even you, your self-loathing Jewishness.
So you support me?
Your freedom of speech, yes, I do.
Okay, good. Well, do you support children? Do you think children should be starved and kept away from medicines?
You're really fast on your feet. I'm surprised at how fast you're going. You got sneakers on?
I do.
You're doing pretty good.
I do, but I am worried about your soul and your heart. that you don't see.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that Nancy Mace has to worry about as far as her soul. So,
yeah, but her name's Benj. I forget her first name, Benjamin. And I'm going, dude, get on you. She's been taking them down the last couple of weeks up there, and good on her. Again, she's Code Pink, and if you play the two-party political system thing, two-party politics, Code Pink bad, yeah, I made plenty of jokes about Code Pink the last 15, 20 years. So it's the first time ever I said, good on Code Pink on that. There is a cult, there is an ethnic cleansing, there's a war crime going on that DJT is happily being involved in, and the supporters are backing up. And it needs to be called out by anybody that has any kind of morals in them.
And let's throw this out there because I don't mind doing it. There's a lot of Catholics in Trump's organization that is supporting this unjust war and the unjust actions that are taking place in this war, that are just taking the orders and just executing outright. That's Marco Rubio. That's all these people that will use the Catholic faith when it's, and let's drill this down even more, folks. You got the guys in the administration, and how I call it every week. And then you got guys like Jack Posobiec, and Steve Bannon. He's got a bunch of icons behind him in the war room cheering this on. Blow those suckers away, kill them all, and let God sort them out, essentially. And Steve and I rustle a lot of feathers when we say this, but that's because it needs to be said.
Mark typed up, they should get the women and children out of here. The problem is they're bombing them when they go somewhere. They drop leaflets, tell them to go somewhere, and they bomb them along the way. I don't know where everybody watches get their information from. One of the good sources I have is Last American Vagabond, who is Ryan Christian in Tennessee. He gets a lot of, just like me, I have a bunch of links up top. He gets a lot of links like that. So he's seen, he actually does some interviews with people out there. And I mean, there's doctors' videos. You can't post these on X because it gets banned.
Free speech platform that is X, right?
Yeah, because they're talking about Israel, and there are plenty of docs that will say this isn't accidental. This kid had 2 to the chest in perfect form. There's there's videos of the snipers with Israel tagging kids and laughing about it on video. They do not care. They want to wipe them all out again. And we're behind it. And if anybody says like somebody's like you're
anti,
all these guys are up with another foreign invasion type deal thing. DJ and all those guys are going to Dubai to put more Trump towers up in UAE and Saudi Arabia just because obviously for the oil thing. And you got his son-in-law is out there right now making deals. They got these gigantic buildings coming up just to be, kiss tail over going over there. And we're worried about, China bad, or this, we're America first and all this stuff. Again, we've said it once, we said it before. You're being had. And then on top of that, the EO. Oh yeah, there is the penthouse, $20 million. I didn't have that post.
That's all right. I got you, Steve.
Thank you.
But there it is.
EO coming out.
There's a Trump Tower in Dubai.
You got this. Everyone doesn't like when I brought up the fact about the Maryland guy. Just the other day.
That I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this. But the buck stops in this office. No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is. Supreme Court says what the law is. Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made by a very incompetent man, a man that turned out to be incompetent.
There it goes into the two-party politics.
You always said was wonderful, great genius, right? And now you find out all of the media now, they're saying what a mistake they made. A man who was grossly incompetent allowed us to have open borders where millions of people flowed in. I campaigned on that issue. I wouldn't say it was my number one issue, but it was pretty close. Right up there. I campaigned on that issue. I've done an amazing job. I have closed borders. He said you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would never happen. Well, it happened, and it happened very quickly. Wait a minute. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, We have to get him out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was photoshopped. So let me.
That actually wasn't. You have to actually call a spade on that. That wasn't.
There it is, right there.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's kind of like the cats. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs type deal thing, or the Gaza because he gets into telling him that how much he's fake news and all this. Remember the Gaza condoms? That was African. It wasn't exactly the Hamas condoms that they were making bombs out of. Same thing. They're fake news just as much as the fake news is.
Now the whole thing with the Maryland man is just to have a nice conversation with Steve is, he actually did get some sort of due process. He had prior hearings. So it's really one of these things that has been muffled by the legacy media. He got scooped up essentially in this, this big old net, and he's had hearings and he's had abuse charges against him, which if you're an illegal immigrant, which he was, that kind of revokes your status. You're a criminal, and that kind of that's 2 strikes against you if you think about it. Am I a big fan of I am kind of a fan of deportations. If they're here illegally, they got to go. I mean, I will say that. I know Steve and I may disagree a little bit on that issue, but
well, they're just not being consistent on it. Obviously, they're grabbing up anybody that speaks out against Israel because that's really the only thing.
I think that's a separate issue. They are linked. I will give you that, Steve. They are linked because they're all kind of being huddled together in this kind of expelling people. The college campus thing, the revoking of the visas and all that, if you speak out against a certain group, that's a violation. I'm not down with that at all. I'm with you 100% on that. But it's kind of getting all pushed together as in like, oh, well, it's all bad. I mean, getting a lot of these people that have broken the law should be because they're here illegally.
Yeah.
The law. It's a messy situation. That's what I can at least say that.
Yeah, I'm not saying if you're, again, you break the law, they come in or anything like that, and you break a law, you get caught, you're gone. Yeah. The problem is though, you got a Chicago Bulls tattoo on. Oh, you're MS-13 automatically. No due process. Do not collect $200. You're in El Salvador. That's a problem. Even
if he's illegal, even if he's an illegal, even if they're illegal.
No, well, if you find out, that's the whole part of due process, to find out if he is or not. If just some guy that like the video we played last week was the guy that they arrested who is a citizen, and they arrested for a couple of days, no talk or anything like that. They finally got everything taken care of. Oh, you can go. We messed up. So, but they just arrested just because of we had a weird feeling in our tummies, and it popped the guy in prison for a few days.
Maybe they found out through the mail because the USPS is now being used to hunt down illegal immigrants. And if you find out, the story is even on its surface is bad, but when you go down, the stuff that they use to find it, I think it's like the 4th paragraph, right above the picture. Steve, go above the picture. Read that paragraph, because I can't see, because I'm blind.
They also want to access the inspection services surveillance system and include data from online postal service accounts, package and mail tracking information, plus other data like credit cards, financial information, and IP addresses. The outlet reported.
I don't care about illegal immigration anymore. What on God's green earth does the U.S. Postal Service's inspection force have access to all of that for? That scares me more than the illegal immigrants, to be completely honest with you.
Well, you remember he said he was going to go after homegrown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And this is all a result of the Patriot Act.
Patriot Act. You got the EO for anti-Semitism that came out right like week 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I mean, again, and then people are upset about the judges. Well, like the Supreme Court ended up 9-0 unanimously saying you need due process to be able to do anything to people. And then was it the California judge? Was it yesterday, 2 days ago, district court judge stopped one of Trump's things, which, I'm not for executive presidents. I'm not for a executive government. But on the other hand, these guys are one district judge just nullified.
But that district judge doesn't have jurisdiction over that.
I know, that's what I'm going with. The libs are okay with the district judge nullifying anything. But what about state nullification? You got this district judge in California, district judge that just did a whole blanket statement for the entire continent. Again, I'm not for what DJ is, a lot of what DJ is doing, but that you can't have that and then say a state can't nullify anything at the same time. And she doesn't. That judge doesn't have power to do that. That's a local district judge. McClellan had a great line. He goes, "California, just leave. If you don't, just go. Be your own thing." Because Gruesome is out there posting all the time. We could be number one. We could be this. We could do that. Just go.
Yeah, nobody's holding you. Nobody's stopping you. And I think it's an impact because there's two ways you can solve this immediately. One, Senate, which has control over all judges. People don't realize this because the Senate actually grants the authority to the federal judges. And I don't know, is that a federal judge or whatever? If it's a federal judge, they could easily strip that jurisdiction from her tomorrow. And that judge could not, the Senate could pass a law tomorrow saying district courts no longer have any authority over immigration laws precedents. No more issue there. Okay. The Supreme Court, but John Roberts is the ultimate squish, could step in and say, hey, we don't have jurisdiction over this, guys. We need to pull back. Our job is to arbitrate disputes, not get involved into executive orders and we don't have the power to tell the executive what to do. But this is a complete and utter, this is the result, Steve, of 60, 70 years of judicial precedent of stepping back and letting the courts do the job of the Senate and letting the courts do the job of the SCOTUS. That's why nobody ever cares about SCOTUS. I mean, I know the left is talking about packing the court, but they love SCOTUS because SCOTUS makes a decision to go, oh, well, SCOTUS ruled on it. Can't do anything about it. Oh, vote for me. And we'll get a new justice when an old one dies, and then we'll be good. And that's their solution.
If anybody's ever read the book Tyranny Unmasked by John Taylor Carrollton, this is exactly what he's writing about. Tyranny Unmasked, about a judge, pretty much unelected judge, ruling over people, making an edict this way. Get that book, read it. You'll see a lot. And by the way, Taylor was one of those that back in the 1790s that thought this thing was over. It was literally over at that time. Just to add on to a little bit of DJ News, is the 100-day mark.
Real quick on that, one last thing before we jump into that. The first John Marshall, the first SCOTUS, argued during the constitutional conventions or the ratifications when people were like, oh, well, I don't really like the idea of a Supreme Court. He was like, don't worry about it. The Supreme Court's never going to really be an impact. And then he becomes his first SCOTUS. He's like, yeah, by the way, Adams, you can't do that. They did it immediately. They said that it wasn't going to be a big deal. And as soon as they got the pen, they were like, nah, we're going to start just executing immediately. So yeah, he was absolutely right. This thing was DOA on arrival.
It's funny how you go back to that. Those guys, they lived, they were pretty much meaningless. No one knew who their names were. Just like Congress, they didn't get paid. They lived in apartments, maybe double bunks or all that. J.Q. Adams died broke after he became president, went back to the Senate because, quote, I have more power in the Senate than I do as president.
The House of Representatives, right?
Yeah, went to the House of Representatives. But yeah, look at the times changed now. Now they ain't nobody dying broke. Yeah. You got all the power known to man if you're the president.
You get COA adjustments. You get all these things. You get the ability to buy two houses. Some people can't even buy one house in this economy, Steve, and they're whining. Well, like Steve and people, they're whining and complaining that they need a COA adjustment for their second house.
You're not going to hear Obama, Clinton, Trump, anybody go, you know what? I need to run for House of Representatives because I have more power in the House of Representatives.
Right.
No, you are king and you will die king.
The House is looked at as the junior league already.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone. It's the the minor leagues. It's not even college. College is pro now anymore, anyways.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I mean, so they're AAU. You can say that the House of Representatives AAU, where you train to get on like news shows and stuff. Anyway.
So just to go with the 100 days things, this is the GOP Teen Party Politics post. As mentioned, 100 days is straight out of the FDR admin. If you want executive government, see FDR as he was an authoritarian dictator, yet everyone since him has done exactly the same. And people are shocked when the latest every 4-year dictator acts like a dictator. Both sides virtue signal the other. Here's Jason Bassler on 100 days into Trump's second term, which you'll not see on Fox News. 0 arrests, $12 billion to Israel, 130 executive orders in 100 days. Real ID enforcement, 750 airstrikes on Yemen, police immunity, and militarization expanded. I got a link on that here in a second. Doge missed $1 trillion savings targeted by $850 billion. Federal spending increased Brandon's by $220 billion. He goes, don't forget these two $5,000 checks. Just kidding. In-tip taxes. Just kidding. Audit the Fed. Kidding. Epstein release files. Just kidding. Half the pentagram spending. They tripled it in Ukraine in 24 hours. Nah, just kidding. Because he posted it. He goes, the other day, Trump signed the Orwellian named Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and protect innocent civilians executive order, which expands military surplus to local law enforcement. Increases federal. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, I'm just agreeing with you. Yep. On all that.
Federal resources of officer training, high pay, stronger legal protection, harsher penalties for crimes against officers, establishes a system providing legal support, financial resources, and indemnification of for officers facing unjust legal challenges. Directs a review of federal agreements that could hinder law enforcement. Targets sanctuary cities with legal action against local officials obstructing federal immigration enforcement. That's already there. Again, you don't have to give them any local help, but you can't obstruct. As much as I don't like it, but you can't do it. And anyway, this effectively strengthens police immunity, funds legal defense for officers, provides more military-grade equipment as if they already need it, as if the 1033 program wasn't enough already. It intensifies programs for crimes against officers because 7 years in prison for assaulting a police canine isn't stiff enough. As Billy Jack said, when police break the law, there isn't a law, just a fight for survival. Here's another one. ICE says they can come in now without a warrant to look for migrants, DOJ memo says.
Nobody cheered that on, Steve.
I didn't see. I voted for that hashtag on this.
Mm-hmm.
March 14th, Rick's girl Bonnie signed a DOJ memo putting out the Epstein files. Nope, just kidding. Outlining how ICE can enter any home they want without a warrant and search the property for migrants. It's amazing. It didn't get any coverage. Straight out violation of the Fourth Amendment. Needs to be in. Here's like ICE can have enter your home.
Yep.
And just because you
actually realized the jurisdiction that Border Patrol has from the border, it's like 100 miles inland from the border. So when you actually put the map on and see where Border Patrol can actually go into, it's absolutely nuts. And once again, not on this 100 days thing, everybody's like, oh, solid B for Trump, B plus because he's doing all this stuff. And I'm going, no, I actually don't think that.
You're talking about this.
There it is. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this for over a year now. This is nuts.
2 out of 3 people live within the 100-mile border. Oh, I was right. 100 miles.
Yeah, 100 miles. It's wherever pretty much the Constitution does not apply in that zone.
Yeah.
It's Transformers. I can here's my badge. I can do whatever I want with badge.
Yeah. Sector 6 or
Sector 7. Sector 7. Never heard of it. Never will.
You never will. Nope. Yeah, it really was. But it's nuts that there's, I hate to toot the horn of news from the pew, but we were the only ones saying Trump was going to be allowed back in because people would cheer this all on. They would cheer on the continuing unraveling of their civil liberties, if you even had any at any point. But there's more of it just to continue to go. There's more of it to come, guys. It's only been 100 days.
Yeah, I think Jason even said it, because we got 4 years. I got a long way to go. I forgot about these ones, these little honorable mentions. Here's Ben Gvir. In order to release the hostages, humanitarian aid being delivered to Gaza must be completely stopped. Not control the aid mechanisms, not reduce, but stop it. And here's another Basil Smotrich. We would end this campaign when Syria is dismantled. Hezbollah is severely beating. Iran is stripped of its nuclear threat. Gaza is cleaned of Hamas, and hundreds of thousands of Gazans on their way out to other countries. I don't see where the hostages part in that was.
Nope. Not important.
Passes. Here's Ben Gvir, a racist public supports war crimes, praised the terrorist organization and a mass murder, and boasted about blocking multiple peace deals. Naturally, he is welcomed by the DJT administration. Hashtag, we voted for this.
100%. And, that's what the MAGA operatives online exist for, not to pay attention to any of this.
Yeah.
Not to pay attention. And let's loop this back into something we talked about earlier. I don't think it's planned, but talking about the Pope is a great way to distract people from any of this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, is there, again, as you said, not toot a horn. Is there another program out there talking about Ben Gvir?
Nope.
I ain't see any of those guys that went down to the St. Joseph $1,200 lunch and dinner plate say a thing about Ben Gvir or ethnic cleansing or any of this. You see the pro-life industry say anything about it? They just stopped me at age. Just kids are just starving just because Catholics are even out there in Gaza. Ain't a word said. The only thing that's happened. I mean, Francis was the only real backer. Big name, the backer.
Ironically enough, everybody's least favorite pope was the only guy actually concentrating on what is happening in Gaza.
Yeah, and good on him.
Not excusing Francis's papacy. I'm just saying the guy wasn't all evil like everybody was saying. Was he?
We got a lot of hate comments for that. Did you see that? We were a bunch of Pope splainers apparently saying this was what was it? Somebody said the show was a big. Pope Francis Greek show or something like that. I'm going, where did you get that? Just because we mentioned.
I don't read the comments on anything, but
I accidentally clicked on it and I saw it. I was like, what were you thinking?
Well, that's because anyway, Catholic YouTube made their money slamming Pope Francis nightly, and so if you're not on team hate the Holy Father every night for everything he does, then you're obviously a Pope splainer.
Yeah, it's good clicks.
Yeah,
and none of those guys that trashed on him anytime ever brought this up.
No, like I said, I'm not saying he was perfect. He was good on Gaza.
Yeah.
Am I excusing anything else? No.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna, just like with Trump, you got to call good Trump bad Trump, and that was good Francis. A lot of bad Francis, but who else is bringing attention to the plight of the Christians in Gaza? Right? Maybe Pizzaballa would if he's Pope, but I mean,
he was talking to Pizzaballa.
I mean, good. Give it a Pizzaballa. When the hostages came, he's like, "Take me, exchange me for him."
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is good, and we need more of it instead of let's talk about all these other kinds of things.
If there's any big names out there, because they don't want to talk to me because I'm this way. They
want to talk to you more than me.
If they want any solution, and this solution isn't, hey, this presidency is not going to fix anything. They got their heads somewhere else up. They're not on the team in a sense. They're not focused on what could be done. They're in it for their own good. And there's something. If you're not getting invited down to Mar-a-Lago, if you're critical in 10th degree of any of this. Not even half of it, you're getting excommunicated from the group. Just a smidgen, you're not getting invited down. But we don't have guys that have the guts to say anything. And this isn't like a small potatoes out there. They're literally killing everyone out there, and they're going to put a casino. People are upset that we were joking about gambling. They're killing people to put a casino.
He essentially said it. He retweeted the stupid AI of him and Elon Musk eating hummus in front of Teslas. Like, we're not making this up. We're not slandering anybody. We're just presenting stuff that is not given to you. Steve and I are not buried face first in our MAGA hats. And that's something that a lot of Catholics want to be, because what do I always? There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, before you think that we're both haters, here's good Trump.
Yeah.
Trump floats plan to slash or eliminate income taxes for millions using bonanza tariff cash.
And people who watch my show, Rickcast, my bar rats, we play good Trump, bad Trump, and we gave Trump a good Trump this week. I'll try to find the story. He actually did a good Trump this week, but I'm not going to, there's no president that I'm just going to be like, he is just the best. It's
a cult following.
Manna from heaven when Trump, I love Trump because he crap talks and stuff, but outside of that, outside of the entertainment factor, he has to be called for when he does bad things, and that's just a fact of life. Or was it?
And this thing, the slash that's for under $200,000 for people that earn under 200. Here it is, $200K a year, big tax breaks. I would definitely take that. Obviously, we're way underneath 200,000, not even close to that. And you can't have tariffs and the income tax. You just throttle the people right there. So you got to get rid of something. If he gets rid of the income tax, man, that'd be a huge. And that's not saying go ahead and kill off half the Middle East either. I'm not saying that, but at least we're telling you, hey, there's some good things. Not everyone, like Bellarmine says. Not everyone's 100% bad or 100% good. It's the cheerleaders that act like it's 100% good, especially the ones that had the Epstein folders that still go around. Hey, they're arrest that man. Hey, how's that Epstein folder going?
Yeah, right. Every time Pam Bondi goes on Fox News, she gets blasted. Where's the Epstein file? Says what? You know what I mean? The Epstein file. Oh, you arrested one guy who vandalized a Tesla dealership. That's a state issue. That's not a federal crime. And I don't like the fact that we're now elevating. It stinks. Yeah, somebody's car getting vandalized is terrible, but that is a state issue. Please do not elevate that to federal, because guess what? When President BBL, as we like to say, and as when President B, what is it? If you deface a Democratic poster, federal charge, going straight to jail. You guys don't.
I don't want to say I can't wait, but I want to say I can't wait for that. But I don't. We're going to be right. We're going to hate being right when the other team gets in with this power that these guys have taken, and there's going to be some hell to pay for a lot of us. And it's going to get nasty.
And don't fall into the trap that Democrats fell into, thinking that they will have power forever.
Oh,
Democrats thought after Obama it was going to be Hillary and then Joe, and then when Joe was in there, they did everything they could to try and make it as terrible as it was, so nobody else could get elected but Democrats. And then they were like, oh, well, if Trump does it, then they'll be fine with it. So that's why they allowed Trump to go back in.
Every 4 years like that. The next week is will Democrats ever win again, or will Republicans ever win again? It's always the same thing. What they have to get back to. They're redoing the whole play, but they're going back to Acme with the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote trying to redo the whole thing every 4 years. It's like that. It's I know, like I said, someone on here hates 10th Amendment Center. They have a video out today on what was it? Was it a tyranny that's unsaid? It's anyway. It gets into quotes like. Politics is the dogma of lies or something like this. And it gets into these stages. And the stages are gaslighting. Like Trump right there. He will tell you exactly what you want. No, that's at MS-13. Here's the photo. It doesn't have anything like that. No, it's at MS-13. No. That's your fake news. Gaslighting. Over and over and over again. The lies, the fear, using fear to push an agenda. You have to do this for your safety. Every single one of them, D or an R, they do the same thing.
That's how you get people to be so dogmatic to one party or the other. That's how you do it. That's how you make Americans, Catholics choose politics over religion. Oh, well, we have to vote for because of this, instead of how your conscience and how the faith should guide you and how to vote. And they just run us ragged every 2 and 4 years. And it's going to be completely, it's going to be sad when this happens, because they're they're not going to be that sad, Steve, because they get good coverage with this. They get great content with Trump, and they're going to get even more amazing content with President BBL. Every single day, it'll be new constitutional crisis, new thing that's bad. Just like Benny Johnson. Remember when Benny Johnson, when the economy, the stock market crashed, and Benny Johnson was like, people's retirements are just being destroyed. How can we have? And then what happened with Trump? He said, it's kind of good to lose stuff because it builds character. And people are going, I'm sorry, what did you just say? And it's nuts that they continue to get away with this.
Well, that our neighbors to the north, Canada.
Every day.
China.
What the politics of slogans and anger and chaos are doing south of the border. They are dividing and they are weakening the Americans. And that is why, that they are not united anymore. United in name only.
I wish.
And now the Americans want our strength. They want our resources, our water, our land. They want our country. There's your answer. There's your answer. Because Canada is not America. Canada is not America.
Thank goodness.
Thank God. America is a melting pot. Look around this room. We're all Canadians. We're all Canadians. We're all distinct. We're all Canadians. Canada is unresolved. It is true that President Trump has betrayed Canada. He's betrayed Canada. And he has ruptured the global economy. Our old relationship.
If you want to see a little bit more on who Mark Carney is, go to the CorbettReport.com and click on
that guy is a 100% avowed communist. Not even like the way we say it, but this dude, it's going to be awful for Canada. Canada will probably disintegrate under this guy's supposed leadership. And forget you conservatives that they're not semi-communist. They're full-blown Marxists up there. They're full-blown Marxists up there. And the tyranny of the majority is there because they punish like the people of Alberta and anybody that dares vote against the hive mind collected. The Chinese military does drills with the Canadian military in Canada. And it's just absolutely nuts the way they do that. And of course, the conservatives up there, which when they say the conservatives in Canada, they're like New England Republicans. They're not, they're just mild Democrats. And so it's crazy that these people in that country that have obscene prices, like we have kind of a housing market crisis. Their housing market crisis is absolutely nuts. They unalive people. When you break a toe, they're like, well, we could give you could wait 9 months for a treatment, or you could get in this pod and we can unalive you. Like they are fast tracking euthanasia up there. And they're going to talk about us.
Yeah, my neighbor's had that situation right now. His daughter, he's flying out there today, flew out there today. He's tore an ACL, and the Canadian healthcare told her she can't have surgery for 2 years.
That free healthcare.
I think it was something asinine like that. It was 2 years, something like that. Or she wanted to do something else, another 6 months. And so he's going to grab her to try to take her somewhere else. 2 years to get an ACL surgery.
Yeah, but it's free.
It's free.
It's free, man.
Free somehow.
It's supposedly free with all the taxes and everything that they have up there. And it's sad to see how they're absolutely 100% involved in this. And there's really no I don't know what you can do with a place like Canada. It's completely off the rails.
Break away. Canadians got to decentralize in there and break away, but they should never, ever come into these United States. They should be their own republic independent of Alberta breaks away, Alberta stays Alberta.
Yep.
They're
better off. They're better off, but they're better off being that anyway. Because they can control their energy sector, they can control all that stuff, and then they can do whatever deals they want with the United States. Let them do that. Let them open up their little country of Alberta to all this stuff. Do not be the last thing we need is more legislative nonsense in this union. We can't even figure out with 50. So
they can't protect Detroit is the old joke. But no, Mark Carney is a globalist central banker, a big geoengineering guy, geoengineering the weather. He's a big climate hoax pusher and all that nonsense. So they're in for a route. It's Justin Trudeau on roids. Justin was kind of like a cute little
the centralist out of the two of them.
Yeah, he was just good. I guess you'd be like, he's just a cute puppy dog on the side. This guy's the Rottweiler. He makes Justin look like a little kindergarten kid in a sense. It's going to be way worse for them. Trudeau was nothing compared to what this guy is.
Yep. The people of that country literally saw everything going wrong and then decided to vote for more of it.
Yeah. Worse.
Because people are like, Orange Man bad. Well, Orange Man is not in your government. So I don't know why you people care about Orange Man in Canada. Oh, the tariffs. That stuff gets worked out. Relax on that stuff.
Yeah, he's right. It is Justin Castro. I forgot my apologies. But this would be Mark Stalin, I guess, in a sense.
Right. 100% on that.
A little upgrade.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be really sad to see these people kind of deal with this, and that's what they voted for it. Can't get mad at them. They voted for it.
If you vote for anything, you pretty much are part of the problem. You voted for it. Enjoy. You can't complain. You vote for Trump. You can't complain.
Nope.
You voted for this.
I did. I voted for Trump 3 times. I understand that I understand what I'm getting. And I kind of, my cop out is I didn't want somebody like Kamala Harris in there, but at this point, outside of a couple things, is there really any difference?
I did vote for Rick Barrett, so
talk about wasting your vote. But in that regard,
is any vote not wasted?
I mean, I've had people ask me if I want to be Pope, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I would accept the job. I would be a
I'd be terrible.
Yeah. First of all, y'all wouldn't see me from the roof. Like I wouldn't be able to be seen over the railing. They'd have to get like
a box.
They'd have to get like bunches of the old phone books for me to step up so you could actually see me over the balcony.
You're not Lord Farquaad now. Come on.
I mean, I'm not a giant either, so I would look silly in all the garments. Because they would just all be on top of me. I'd look like the minion. When he was the king. And then do the mic drop as I leave. That'd be a 1-for-1 on that one. But it is what it is on that regard. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my radar because we got some storms coming around, but it looks fine. Anyway. Yeah, so the Canadian thing is
like you need some Boeing 777s. Like I don't know if you know this or not. Boeing 777.
Oh, that's right.
Cool planet. If you don't mind acid rain, so
yeah, I love how all this acid rain was big in like the 90s. Remember, they thought acid rain was going to kill us all with all that stuff, and then they're like,
Well, just because you kept bringing up the weather, I was like, I know you bring this up. This was all the way back on April 22nd, 2025. So the chemtrails are in the mainstream news now. Where's the other one that I had? Shoot, that wasn't it. I have to find it. Sorry, we're going to talk. But anyway, the United Kingdom's did a commercial about chemtrails. Really? And it literally says, this is how to cool the planet.
Do we have it?
I couldn't download it. Let me see if I have the.
But the geoengineering we know about, because like when Dubai has its floods, it's like, oh yeah, we did cloud seeding, but we didn't really know what to do, so we just kind of cloud seeded all the way, and then it rained, and we actually don't have a drainage system because it's the desert, and we don't know how to drain water. So it's hysterical how they do it. Yeah, there's the video of the climate change. Steve's sitting here fully justified. Y'all making fun of me before, not now, huh? So.
And UK scientists say planes could dump sulfur dioxide over North Pole to cool the planet at the risk of creating acid rain.
Yeah, it's
good night, everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But you thought Steve was nuts? Who's nuts now? That's really what it is at this point. Who's nuts now? Not this guy, but it is. It's crazy. But let's get to one more thing we have to talk about, which is CBDC and how
what you think about this, because CBDCs, in my opinion, we should all have an opinion, but I want to lead you into talking about if CBDCs tomorrow morning, legislation of America, or here in Dubai, someone says, great, we're announcing the e-dirham, right? What does that look like in the first 90 days of it being implemented? Okay, I can go to pay government services for, my passport control or Visa. That makes a lot of sense, ground level. How about the candy store or the laundromat or, something like that? What does the first 90 days look like when a CBD gets announced?
So I want to speak, I want to respect the UAE here and just admit that I have no idea, very much how the government and regulations work here. I can only speak.
Anyway, just because that it's from 2023, the real end game, as stated by CEO, Gima Group CEO, Masters Ventures CEO, Fuse head manager, Sasquatquam, EEMA crypto risk leader, MasterCard. And why we brought this up, because of all people, Rick brought this up to my attention.
I've been on it for this week. I've been on it this week, man.
He's been hitting some homers in the Little League park that he plays in.
That's right. T-ball, baby. T-ball champ. T-ball champ.
Go ahead, take it away. You're the one.
So it looks like we talked about this, and there was another story we covered on Monday. It looks like there is a plot to get all of these kinds of things taken care of, i.e., using MasterCard and Visa to start doing AI-powered shopping, meaning it'll be based on your preferences. AI will do all of your shopping for you. Sounds great at first. There's two things that this is going to take place into. One, this is a setup to get into, this is a pilot program so that when the Optimus robots are started, they will go do your shopping for you. They will go pick out your groceries because they'll have all that stuff there. And then secondly, what is this a great backdoor into, Steve? It's a great backdoor into CBDC, i.e. meaning, you can't have, you wanted this pizza this week from the supermarket. Can't get any more pizzas this month. You fatty, you've had too many pizzas. So we will buy the food that we think you should be eating. And it's going to be based on that. And people are going to get so adjusted to it that they're not going to care. And that's the thing that really scares me, is people are just not going to care about what is bought for them because, well, it's fine because it's being bought for me and I don't really need it. It's being done in convenience. It's being done in convenience for me. So I don't have to worry about what is being bought or where it's being bought. And there was another story earlier this week that I think I have. I'll see if I can get it real quick. About MasterCard. There was another one about MasterCard this week that they introduced the idea. MasterCard's going to now incorporate stablecoin on its back end, allowing you to use it, which people are going to love until they realize that stablecoin is now going to be, once you get used to using stablecoin to buy basic stuff, now you're on CBDC. It's not named CBDC, but it is CBDC, MasterCard stable coin. I'll see if I can find it real quick. I deleted all my stuff because I'm an idiot. But the fact of the matter is, I guess I did get rid of it. Hey, I still have not received my royalties from Shrek for my image and likeness, which I'm still kind of mad about.
Well, Ralph had a good name change for your show, so I couldn't help it.
Farcast. I mean, I don't know if I can really use that outright, but it is what it is in that regard. I ain't hating. God makes us the way He wants, and He wanted me to be a little bit tinier than everybody else, which is okay. It just happens that way. But the fact that you have this, we talked about whatever it was last week. There was another thing that was taking place with stablecoin and ID and all these other kinds of things. Let's see if I can actually just play this, because my computer is now, it's not even responding to anything. Or is that just because of that? Nope, my computer is completely frozen up. So my computer has been hanging out with Steve too long. So now my computer has decided that it just doesn't want to work.
Disease.
Yeah, it's a disease of just not wanting to actually do anything. It happens. But
hey, when you brought this thing up, I mean, it's even got Amazon started their own new AI shopping agent called Buy For Me. Google and Perplexity's also showcased similar agents. PayPal's got their own thing coming.
They all do, because
PayPal, Peter Thiel. Oh yeah, he's connected to PayPal.
Yeah, he is, shockingly enough. And everybody is too busy celebrating Trump. Too busy celebrating Trump, too busy celebrating all this other stuff to actually realize what is taking place right now. And I can't use StreamYard because the screen is completely frozen. So it was a good video. What?
Just refresh your screen and come back on.
I don't know. I can't even refresh.
Like, you got a link? You got a link you can send me?
I can send it to you on X. I can send it to you via X, but
that's, do that. I'll put it up.
Yeah, it's a guy, we talked about it for a little bit, and he just breaks down how MasterCard unveiled stablecoin support from wallet to checkout for minutes at banks and across 150 merchants worldwide. What does that mean? That's social credit score, and that's central digital bank currency without central digital bank currency name. And people are just going to say, oh, this is a great idea. And this guy thinks it's a great idea because now you can
just announced full end-to-end integration with stablecoins, making payments from wallets to merchants and checking out your local grocery store possible globally. And this isn't just a niche pilot program. They're rolling this out everywhere. And this is the foundation for stablecoins to move mainstream. And it couldn't come at a more important time. In the entire ecosystem, there's only one real use case for crypto outside of Bitcoin, and that's stablecoins. Everything else is either more efficiently built on Web 2 rails, or worse, and many of you have seen and experienced this,
I mean, he just gets into nerd stuff at the end,
retail
but he led
money.
with the beginning.
Stablecoins are the critical rails on which
to be used everywhere. And that's a problem, because people are going to mass adopt it, Steve. And once they do, they're going to be hooked. And the government doesn't have to do a thing. Everybody's worried about the government doing it. The government doesn't have to do a thing, because with this AI power, once you use your stable coin with MasterCard, because MasterCard is one of the companies that's using this AI, they're going to hook your AI to your stable coin. What's the last thing they're going to hook it to, Steve? A social credit score. It's all lining up absolutely perfectly in this regard. And nobody talking about people, no other show, no other place has even mentioned this as a bad idea, as a bad thing, because it's, who cares? It's going, and then we talked about how paychecks will be the next thing, Steve, that they will offer in stablecoin, and they're going to offer it to government employees first. They'll be like, hey, we'll drop your tax bracket by 5% if you take your check in stablecoin, and we'll just deposit it into your account. You don't have to worry about it. And boom, there you go. Now everybody's using it. Just what?
Have you seen
12
what Amazon
months ago
just launched? It's called.
We were worried about central digital bank currency. Now we're like, oh, cool, let's use it.
Yeah.
AI shopping agent that lets you purchase items even if Amazon doesn't sell them. So let's say you're searching for something on Amazon and they don't carry it. Instead of hitting a dead end, Amazon now shows you product from a brand's own site, and you can still buy it without ever leaving the Amazon app. So you never leave Amazon. Amazon's agent goes to the brand's site and buys it for you, and that's the point. Amazon isn't just trying to sell products anymore. They're going to try to own the entire shopping journey. So even if you don't buy directly from them, they still get the data, and that powers better targeting, smarter merchandising, and of course, more ad revenue. This just isn't about convenience anymore. It's a land grab for intent, data, and ad.
Data's the new oil.
Data has been the new oil, and everybody is just more than happy to give it up. They're more than happy just to let you have it. Because why not? Why do I need it for? I've already given you all my data through social media. You already have all of it. So if it's going to make my life a little bit easier for my self-driving Tesla and my Tesla operated robot to do the laundry, that's cool. Doesn't bother me at all. So it is.
And unrelated news, UPS, that's what we brought up, the UPS thing. Laid off 20,000 permanent jobs, will be cut, 73 leased and owned buildings closed, terminated. They include a report that weakening demand because of tariffs caused a huge decline in Amazon packages, which I saw locally. They had it on when I watched the local news here. We don't have cable, but I have this live TV app. So at like 11, like now, 10 o'clock p.m., I can watch 6 o'clock news, tape delay. And so I was watching this, trying to find out the weather. It mentioned about UPS, and they didn't bring up, which you're not finding online, that it's mostly technology. It's the AI part of it, because the more AI, you don't need the humans. So they're trying to go autonomous in the driving. They're using Amazon's trying to be doing the drone flights for it. Those Amazon trucks have surveillance all over the truck. They want to go AI on that. There's an AI with the 4IR, the fourth industrial revolution, is still going on. That didn't end over just because of Rona. That thing is still going and kicking and screaming, and it's moving and grooving real fast right now.
Yep, and we don't have. Sorry, I got a cold chill. And we're not paying attention to it because of all the wins.
Yeah, there's all the Mark Zuckerberg on just the AI glasses.
Yeah,
we look back like a decade from now, and like all those glasses aren't AI glasses by that period. It's kind of like obviously all the flip phones were going to become smartphones, right? I mean that was clearly a thing that was going to happen. I think that's going to happen with glasses too. But the other,
obviously, you're going to have the brain chips coming in. That's all. I mean, they've done it before. Did I lose Rick again? We were just about to get in the cry room. All right, so Rick left the building. That's all I hear. Oh, the only things I have left on here to talk about here was Israeli attacks on Gaza kill 167 Palestinians in 3 days amid total siege. Major Iranian port paralyzed, 700 injured, 5 dead in massive explosion. Yep. Republicans unveiled bill to bring 2025 military budget to over $1 trillion. Oh, Rick's back.
Yeah,
this is the whole thing with the Iron Dome and more.
This is what I get for making fun of Steve every week for his technical problems. This thing is like, all right, well, you're gonna be blessed with those this week, buddy. So it's
a little humble pie. That's all right.
Just delicious. Yum 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 yum.
And this was the starter home now costs $1 million in half the states in the United States, report reveals. So again, the housing bubble that's coming down the pipe is going to be, I guess, glorious. If you buy a house for an investment purpose, then you're not buying what you're supposed to be. You buy a house to live in, not to see about trying to make a buck on it down the road. That's why, and it's, I'm looking forward to the crash because I might be able to buy a house if it crashes a lot far. But don't buy anything right now.
No, it's all super inflated. But that's also post-COVID. The economy and everything will never recover from COVID. It's just that simple, unless there is a hard reset. Unless there's a hard reset. Not a great reset, but a hard reset in that regard. But
you want a great reset, I know.
Yeah, I want absolutely. Give me that great reset. But due to my technical difficulties and stuff, I think it's time to call out the saint of the week in the cry room.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, my cry room is my dog because she won't shut up for this entire show.
Lily
she's crying, so she's in the cry room. Literally, my saint of the week. I hope she's still here. Lou is my saint of the week because the greatest name for the greatest pope ever, Pope Orange Julius I. She's my saint of the week on that one. She absolutely knocked it out of the park. So one of my bar rats gets to be my saint of the week.
That's good. That's funny. I guess mine won't be as cool as that. I guess my cry room's going to Shadora Sanders. The family going to fit. Did you see his room?
The legendary room? Yeah.
Yeah. First off, you call yourself legendary. You don't even.
You're 21 years old. You're not legendary.
That goes into the dad he's been around who, signed his name S with a dollar sign in it. Neon Dion Primetime Sanders.
Well, the problem is Dion was a once in a generation talent. He get away with it. Shador Sanders is a black Chad Pennington. So
it's just like the Ball family. The kids think they're don't stink, and there's no humility anymore in the leagues or in sports. It's these guys that think that he put a video out of him running a hill, which was kind of like a little slant. It wasn't even a cool thing. And because like, dude, do the rice workout and call me.
Yeah.
Right. Saint of the week. I'll go with Rand Paul because he seems to be the only one to call out the tariff thing. I'll do a duel. Code Pink is getting a Saint of the week.
You've seen it all now, folks. You've seen it all now, folks. Code Pink gets a shout out on News from the Pew as the Saint of the week.
We're going after all the Zionists. Good on them. It's not every day you're aligned with Code Pink or Bernie Sanders, so you got to take it when you can.
Right? You got to absolutely not let them know. So, all right, folks. Thank you for hanging out with this episode, and thank you for dealing with my terrible issues in technical and dog. All right, it's News from the Pew. Turbo. It's News from the Pew. Please like, subscribe, and share the News from the Pew. We will talk to you all next week. God bless and Viva Cristo Rey.